Now, Nigeria is not left out. Yesterday, we were told that the GOC 81 div of the Nigerian army, was telling the troops that anybody who is not loyal to President Tinubu should just leave the armed forces, and that they must show loyalty, discipline, professionalism. Fine, good talk. But the only objection I have to his statement is that he kept talking about you must be loyal to President Tinubu. No, the Nigerian armed forces, it's not about loyalty to a person. It's about loyalty to the Nigerian constitution. It's the constitutional order we are talking about here, not about individuals. Because when the general was going on, and you must be loyal to President Tinubu and all that. No, the Nigerian military must be loyal to the constitution. And the only way of changing power that the constitution of Nigeria recognizes is through the ballot box. And that is why the coup in all these other African countries, the coups are being condemned because they go outside the framework of the constitution. But the African Union has taken the usual programmatic step of suspending Gabon, from the African Union. Well, they did the same thing with Mali. African Union did the same thing with Niger, right? Now they've done the same thing with Gabon. But the question to ask is, look, yes, the AU Commission can make pronouncements through, its chairperson. The African Peace and Security Council of the, or Committee of the African Union can talk about the constitutive acts of the African Union, but why is it that the AU has become so ineffectual in changing the trend of, reckless usurpation of power in one African country to the other? But the bigger consensus, of course, is that nobody agrees in any way with any form of violent disruption of the constitutional order in our.
It is unfair to paint the obedient movement, which has been praised in many ways for changing the political landscape of Nigeria in many ways, as being, just with really bad names, because in most movements, they're extremists. But you cannot base an entire movement on the extreme few and say that all of the obedience are extreme. I don't agree with that.
I know you wanted to make a comment on
I have a lot to say, Oji, that time will not permit me.
Okay.
That's the problem with what's trending.
Hey, yeah.
Welcome back again. At first, let us start.
Okay.
I think, like Ayo said, it is wrong to paint the obedient movements. There are other people of a certain political party that harass people too. In fact, I had a taste of my own. It's just because I didn't take the case up. When people from this known political party harassed me in an elevator in Transcorp Hotel in Abuja.
Sorry about that, Rufai.
Yes, they harassed me in an elevator. So when people say all sorts about the obedient movement, and constantly, if you go check my social media, they are constantly casting aspersions and saying all sorts of stupid things. If it's not somebody I have a very strong mental strength.
You do, Rufai.
Yes.
You do.
Every single day I'm being abused. So when people say it's the obedient movement, we don't tell the truth in this country. And that's why the country...
a whole movement.
So that's why the country has become a grand scene of Bajwe and Djibouti. And concerning what Professor, he has a right to say whatever he wants to say, but please, let's be balanced for the sake of God. The real Bajwe in all of this election is INEC that promised something and didn't do it. Yeah. The INEC that told a lot of Nigerians to come out, that we have video footages of Mr. Festus Okoye constantly coming out to say these methods will be used, and nothing was done. That's the real Bajwe in this. So let's call a spade a spade. The problem, we don't like to call a spade a spade. Thirdly, because I'm here and we have to go because of time. Thirdly, as regards this Mr. Duro and this conundrum and everything, if you come out to say you went to school with somebody, you have to prove it. You came on air, there were no pictures. You came on air, there were not enough proof and everything. He has to be able to come to proof. And part of proving it also means subjecting himself to other media. So he should come to arise probably.
Many people, 14 million people said we don't like you. There are so many questions surrounding himself, surrounding his education, surrounding his personality, surrounding his trade, surrounding his genealogy. If he had factored all this into consideration, he would have acted differently. But he decided to act in the same way, in the same manner, in the same style, at the same speed with Buhari. For Buhari and Tinubu, there is no difference. And we are going to say it very clear now.
What do you think?
My brother, we can't wait for the military to take over.
Okay.
That is exactly what.
Yes, I agree with that. You know why? Why I said I agree with that? If peradventure military take over this government, yes, you will see the light of the day. I believe there will be discipline. So many people will behave themselves. It will not be a business as usual. You will not. It will just come out from a sector or one government sector. You thief our money and leave. Nobody will query you. But when military take over, everybody will have respect.
Yes, 100%. I support that.
They no get the power.
Military no fit.
They no go fit because 9 people we dey there. Akan general, lieutenant general, major general.
As I'm talking to you now, what is happening in Niger and Gabon? If our military is not corrupt, because our military is also corrupt, I'm not fearing anybody. Our military is corrupt. If our military is not corrupt, this is the opportunity to strike. Mr. President himself is in India, enjoying himself there. This is the opportunity to strike. But what is happening? They will not do it because even them themselves, they are afraid. You understand? Because what they have, one or two.
So, I'm not clamoring for military rule, but we have been waiting for long for this democracy to work since we gained independence. It has not been working. But our country now have a problem. It won't be that easy to achieve it because we have a problem of diversity in ethnicity. Our militaries, they don't speak the same language. The Igbos or Hausas might agree, the Yorubas with Sabo, you understand? So whatever that will work is what we need. But if military is working for them, and if you notice,
people who are calling for military intervention should be careful of what they are calling for because there is nothing like rule of law in military intervention. If there is a military regime or military takeover now, there is nothing like courts, nothing. So they should be careful for what they are wishing for. But in Nigeria,
okay, if we can get, if a military can come in, we'll be happy.
You'll be happy as an individual.
I'll be happy as an individual because nobody sees what is happening in this country and said the politicians are doing well. See, even if P2B comes, he may not get it right. Unless he's going to use the people that are not these current politicians. Because they are biased, they are corrupt already. To the grassroots. So I think we need military to come now and flush this system completely and bring fresh people. Then we can go back to democracy. I think then we can get it right.
I should never think of military intervention because that is never an option, nor a remedy to any problem in this country.
You want the same thing?
Yes, if that will make Nigeria to turn back what it used to be, I'm fully support of it.
We will take over. I think it will be better for us. It will be better for us. We are suffering.
The military intervention is because of the high level of corruption, mainly in African part of the world. In our own side, West Africa, we are more corrupt, and